Hi, welcome to another episode of Beyond Chronic Disease. My name's Wendy Gathercole. I'm your host. How are you this week? Did you tune in to episode 2 of my 8-week podcast series promoting my new book, A Crohn's Solution, Healing from the Inside Out, which is going to be released 2026. Okay, so this week is I'm talking about the sickness industry, which I call it not a health industry. More often than not, we are kept unwell more than well. How many times do you go to the doctor and get prescribed a medication for your symptom? And then maybe so many months later, you need another one, another one. How much are you paying on your paying for your medications each week, each month? You know, are your symptoms better? Are they not? Do you keep changing medication after medication because they don't work, or you need stronger ones? I mean, this rings alarm bells for me, especially with what I have been through with medications. If you've bought my first book, Whole Foods The Facts, you will know what happened. I do retell the story in my second book, A Crohn's Solution. So I am not dissing doctors. They have their place. But I am dissing medications. Okay. So you've got to learn for yourself. You really do. They have taken the little pamphlets out of the medication boxes now. I don't know what their reasoning for it, but I believe it's so that you don't see all the nasty side effects that you can get with medications nowadays. I mean, gosh, some doctors prescribe this medication and that medication, and you just don't know what is going to go on in your body. I know that, some medications can give you a cough. You start coughing and you're thinking, oh, okay, I've got a cough. So, what's that all about? I've got this persistent cough. So then you go back to the doctor and it's your medication. Okay. And hopefully your doctor asks you what medications you're on and they look up the side effects for you. I'm not talking Dr. Google either. I'm sorry, I'm just saying don't Dr. Google, although I do got Dr. Google side effects on certain medications, just for my own interest. But if you're on medication, there are there's typically 3 grades of side effects. You'll have the, I don't know, low, medium, high, or what do they call them? The most common, less common, whatever the side effects may be. And I know when I had a medical procedure and I was just feeling so mentally unwell after a bit, I went to my doctor and it was dismissed. So after a while, it got the better of me, and I just had to look at what these side effects were, and I just about had every single one of them. So I went and got that taken out of my body, and I basically the next day felt amazing. It's just like with the uh, metal amalgams in your mouth. I felt that they were causing emotional, like mental health issues for me, like always feeling down in the dumps mentally and for no apparent reason really that, and so I got them taken out and it changed almost immediately as well. So, you may have these metal uh, these amalgam fillings and think, oh yeah, well, why would the dentist put them in if they do that? Well, not they don't believe it. That's the thing. They don't believe it. Okay, so I look at everything and anything that I feel is not conducive to my well-being, like that, medications, all of those things that are all fake, processed, manufactured, I eliminate them from my body. But as I said in my first book, I always consulted my medical team, and they were quite fine with it. And if you've read my first book, remember my specialist actually said, look at our diet. I think I've got a story in the second book about that, I think. So that was the starting point for me, to be honest, with the food. And then once I looked at that, once I took that on board, because that was that little whisper, right? He's a specialist, a medical, professional specialist who consults with people with illness and prescribes medication. And after me being in his office, telling him about what the medication was doing to me and how I stopped taking it and all of that, he said to me, and this is two things that he said actually, was you know your body well and look at our diet. Now, he probably wouldn't say that to any person that came into his office. You see, I know that this is my body. I know this is my life. And I ask those questions. You know, I don't just take it for gospel. I got it. Okay, I've got this disease. I have to take this and that's it. That's my life. No, I don't settle. I don't know. It's a character flaw of mine. So I don't settle. And if you've heard my story about when I turned 50 and started barefoot water skiing, you'll know that I don't settle after everyone telling me that my life's over. So that is a fact. So the sickness industry, that's my take on it. Okay. And I know that to be true for me. So really symptoms are just that. They're symptoms of a deeper problem. Okay, that's enough of that. And I will see you next week for another exciting episode promoting my book. So see you then. Bye.